turning, pages keep turning, those pages. Time flies when you've been reading for ages. So I'm still reading Third Grave Dead Ahead by Dorinda Jones. I'm struggling a little bit with this book because the plotline that I had found the most interesting was the romance plot, and I feel a little bit like a disapproving mother by saying this, but I'm not sure I can support this relationship between her and the main love interest, Reyes, because he just threatened to kill her entire family. And then on the next page, she forgives him, saying, "Oh, he didn't mean it. He's just acting out because he's scared." And I'm like, that's not normal. So, and he apologized, but I'm still like kind of weirded out by him. And he also, not to mention, a few pages ago, kidnapped her by knife point, and like she thought he was going to murder her. So we'll see where this goes. I don't know. I'm a third of the way through the book. I'm on page 116. There are only 320 pages in this book, but like I'm having a hard time getting past that. So I guess we'll see where this goes. It's so weird. I'm going to try and read some more of this book. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. I'm feeling a little tired, and I tend to fall asleep a lot while reading this book for some reason. Yeah, we'll see. Also, I looked it up, and apparently there are 13 books in this series. I'm kind of questioning, do I care that much? Because that's a lot of books. It's a commitment. So I read about 15 pages, not very much, but I guess it's something. I mostly just thought about the next scene in my book. Didn't get that far with that either, but I guess that's something too. What an update. Also, I reached page 230 in Third Grave Dead Ahead. The story has actually picked up quite a bit, and I'm really enjoying it now, and especially since I only have 100 pages left, actually less than 100 pages left, definitely going to finish this. And as for whether I will be continuing on with the series or not, I guess it just depends how this ends, and if I am interested to see what happens next. There hasn't been that much more with her and the love interest, which might be why I'm enjoying it more, but the story has gotten like a lot of good funny parts and made me laugh a lot, so I'm glad that it is a lot more interesting now than it was in the beginning, because the beginning was kind of frustrating with like the angst and the weird relationship. So right now I just want to do a little bit more reading, and then we'll see what I get up to later. So I finished Third Grave Dead Ahead, and I really enjoyed it. But in this book, in all of these books, there is a paranormal storyline that's like a continuous storyline going throughout the entire series, and there's also just a regular crime storyline because she has the ability to see ghosts, and that helps her solve crimes. But throughout the story, I really wish they would focus more on the paranormal continuous storyline that is going throughout the series rather than the crime ones that are just like each book is solving a different crime. And the crimes are fairly normal crimes. They're not really paranormal at all. And she doesn't even really use ghosts that much to solve these crimes. She like sees the ghosts and they sort of help her randomly in other ways throughout the book, which is kind of weird, and I don't know. I feel like the crime storyline is just not that as interesting to me, and the primary focus of each book seems to be solving one of these particular crimes, and I just really wish it would be about the paranormal thing, because they keep talking about how like she's the doorway into heaven, and this other guy is the doorway into hell, and these demons want to find them and use them to, I guess, get into heaven and hell. And that sounds really interesting, but it's like a subplot that's really, nothing has really happened with it, and it's 3 books in already, and I know there are 13 books, so I'm like, when does this subplot actually happen? Because they mention these things, and they mention that she has more power than she knows, but nothing has happened with it, hardly. So I just wish it would focus more on that, and maybe I'll look up and find out what book that actually happens in, and I can skip ahead to that one. That might be a good idea. But otherwise, it was still really good, and it had a lot of funny parts, so I was thoroughly entertained throughout it. Oh, also, there are just like a lot of characters to keep track of during the crime storyline. I don't know if it's just me not paying very good attention, but I just have a hard time following I forget who everyone is. There are a lot of names introduced, and I'm just like constantly forgetting who these different people are. It might just be me, or it might be the fact that I'm not reminded often enough who these people are, because they just throw out the names all the time that I'm supposed to know who they are, because I met them earlier, but I don't. So, anyway, it was still a very enjoyable read, and I'm excited for my next book. Now I get to read my library book, Song of the Dead by Sarah Glenn Marsh, which is the sequel to Reign of the Fallen, which I really, really enjoyed. This book was so good, and I'm so excited to read the sequel. So it is currently Sunday and time to wrap up the vlog for the last couple weeks. I completed 1 book. I really enjoyed this. I don't know whether to rate it 3 or 4 stars though, just because, I don't know. I did enjoy it though, it was very funny. And then I started another book, Song of the Dead by Sarah Glenn Marsh. And that is it for my week. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you next time. Bye!